The topic which I chose was deception behind living experience. So, then the question arises in the minds of all of us. Are we deceptive? All decisions we have taken up to now in our life were based on deceptive information. And to start my talk, I thought I'll just give a brief introduction about Dhamma. Now, Dhamma is Buddha's teaching. So it's there in books, Tripitaka, and other books, e-books, and people might say Dhamma is there in temples. So that is the Dhamma which is available for us to have an academic knowledge, a theoretical knowledge. Where is Dhamma? It is within you. Dhamma is in our experience. If you want to see Dhamma, there's no point reading the textbook. You need to see or experience your day-to-day experience. Where is Dhamma? Now, Dhamma is what you experience from the external world. External world, we live with detachments to the external world. So every second, a thought arises about the external world through 6 sense doors. So if you want to see them, I might use a little bit of Pali words also, or Sinhala words for that matter. Excuse me for that. And so Dhamma is, as I said, is within your living experience. Dhamma is what you experience from the external world. And so Dhamma has to be seen within your experience. By who? By yourself. Dhamma is not anywhere else. It may be in textbooks, it may be in Tripitaka, for it to be the basic understanding. And the topic says, if an Arhat sits on that chair and wants to talk about this topic, Arhat, he might delusion, he might call avidya, not knowing, not realized, not seen. And the living experience he might call Panchaskandha. As you know, we all know what is Panchaskandha. So he might say Avidya Panchaskandha. Then he might shorten this topic again. Avidya of Panchaskandha is Pancha Upadana Skandha. Pancha Upadana Skandha. Any Panchaskandha which is is subjected to Upadana, wanting, craving, and that is called Pancha Upadana Skandha. So this topic is all about Pancha Upadana Skandha. And So how does this Panchupadanaskandha works in production? The nature is very inert. The root, the eye, chakra, sotayatana, the ears, the nose, the tongue brings nature into existence. Nature is inert. So these inert experiences which we receive through our senses is in conflict with a permanent self. That is a problem. That is a problem, basic problem. We believe, or we have the faith that our self is permanent. We are a self, we are a personality. Non-personal environment, or non-personal experiences is in conflict with a personal mind. And this conflict is rather dangerous sometimes. This conflict is rather dangerous. Why do I say that? This conflict has created the problems in the world. Between countries, they are fighting with each other because of the deception minds of people. They are fighting with groups, different groups, because of the deception. And more importantly, you fight with your mind. And then your life becomes miserable because of this deception. So the misery which is being created within yourself and in the world is due to this deception. So how can we identify this deception? Before I continue, I have chosen a very important sutra from Majjhima Nikaya, which is called, I'm sure you have read about this, heard about this, and many sermons about this, Mula Parihasa Sutra. It's a very long sutra. Mula means the root, analysis of thought formation. Buddha divided the humans in this world into three categories. Three categories. Buddha never divides in accordance with the ethnicity, the religion. No, he doesn't tall or short. No, he doesn't divide the human beings like that. But these three categories, only these categories exist in the world. Pruthakjana, Seka, and Aseka. So Pruthakjana are the people like us who has little knowledge or no knowledge about Dhamma, who has not practiced Dhamma, not in the path. Not in the path. Not got onto the path, not walking along the path. And very rarely people associated noble people, Kalyana, Satpurusha Seva. We don't talk about Dhamma all the time. We have other things to do in our life. Other enjoyments to enjoy. So, Pruthakjana. Seka is the disciples who are in the path, who is knowledgeable in Dhamma, who practices Dhamma, who associate Kalyana. And Aseka, he has completed and gone along the path to the end and realized the supreme nirvana. So Buddha said, in Mulaparayasa Sutra, Buddha described how the experiences occurs or develop in these three categories of people. So I'm using little bit of Pali words as well, but with this translation. And you need to understand, when I talk in a language. Today I'm talking in English. So what is a language? Language is a set of words and meanings. Set of words and meaning. How do you understand my words? These are the meaning I sometimes have in my mind. May not the same meaning which goes to your mind. Because your perception in understanding that particular word may be different. So you can't go through the path with languages or words, sets of words. Even that includes Pali as well, Pali language. So every word, there's action behind. And when you are in the path, when you are going in the path, what you have forgotten all the languages, you have forgotten all the words, and what you create in the mind is experiential knowledge. Knowledge gained through experience. That is very vital. Sati Samadhi all creates a knowledge through experience. We call it an intuitive knowledge. Knowledge not with conceptions in the mind. Knowledge not with ideas created in the mind. It is a direct knowledge which occurs in the mind when your experience touches the mind. I will explain that in the Mula Pariyasa. So with that intention, you need to listen to me. Otherwise, you will be learning a set of words and then go home. So now, first of all, I will tell the commoner, like us, Utarjanas, how an experiences originate in the mind. So using the eye, chakku. So there are 6 ayatan, indriyas. Chakku ayatan, as eye. So external object, Buddha takes as Patavi Dhatu in the sutra. Patavi means probably he would have taken Patavi, Apo, Teju, Vayu, because Patavi, when you say Patavi, it is all the Mahabhutas. So Mahabhutas. So Patavi does not ignite any craving in your mind. So when he sees Patavi, that is the solid part of the external object. Solid part of the external object. Patavi Dhatu, when it goes through the eye, ayatana, then eye doesn't recognize the source of Patavi Dhatu. We say Patavi Dhatu comes from a land adjoining your house. So the eye cannot identify the land. What does the Chakku Ayatana do? With the Vinyan, Chakku Vinyan, the eye can only grasp few elements of the land, shape and the color. It may be like trees shape. You cannot see it's a jack tree. It's a mango tree. Can't see. Shape and color. That's all. And then this sensation of identifying the basic elements of the land or Patavidhatu. This sensation being transferred to Mano Ayatana. Mano Ayatana. Mind faculty. The mind faculty, Vijnana, arises in the Mano Ayatana as well now. The same Vijnana which was in contact with Ayatana. And then Vijnana, Mano Vijnana, the sensation which came from color and the shape of what you see, Patavi Dhatu, color and basic elements. And then the Manu Ayatana identify that as a land. And this is the perception we have, the perception, sanya. So Manu Ayatana identify this is coming from the land next to. Up to now, this process is called sajana. Sajana. Sanjana. Sanjana. Up to Sanjanati, nothing has been operated. Natural external phenomena has come to the eye, Chakvayatana, and gone to the Manovayatana, being identified. And this is a very impersonal natural process. Impersonal natural process. Impersonal natural process. And now, this is what we say. What we see, we see. What I see. Nothing else. Very natural. What I hear. Through sound, making a sound. What I hear, I hear. What I feel, I feel. And this sanjana, this process, is applicable to the Seka and Aseka. The natural phenomena, external phenomena, comes to the mind for identification. And then this picture which came through the identification, natural phenomena. How does it come? Is through the Panchaskandha. Panchaskandha is the big components of your experience. Remember that. Don't take Panchaskandha as a big word. No. It's the Panchaskandha is component of their living experience. Components are Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. So all these factors have now Vijnana. Then Pruthakjan. The next step is the vital step. Sanjana now become Manyati. What is this? Now there's a contact between the Manoayatana and the Chakvayatana. That's called the Passa, contact, Sparsha. And this Sparsha ignites Manyati. And now this mental picture in the mind, the second stage, is now create ideas, create ideas. These ideas which have been created by the, the mind, concepts which is being created by the mind, give a lively feeling to the land, inert land outside. The land is inert, with a lively feeling, which a strong feeling in the mind. This land is now is beautiful, lots of flowers, is larger than my land, beautiful. The concepts which you are making from Manyati is the basic factor of delusion. Impersonal land, how it becomes a personal land now, with stronger affiliation. Stronger affiliation. It doesn't stop at that point. It doesn't, then Manyati become Manyanti. You create more and more thoughts about it. And now the Panchaskandha, which was natural, from a natural land, which was outside, now is subjected and being engulfed by what? Upadana, Grahana, engulfed, with craving, attachments. So up to Sanjanati, it's the same for all Seka, Seka and Sukha. Beyond that, and then you get the feeling, or the individual get the feeling. I see the land, I enjoy the land. So when it becomes Manyati, the sensation comes into existence, Vedana. And Vedana leads to Mansikare, attention. And this Mansikare, attention, will lead to sensation of happiness or sensation of attachments, giving more, making the land more lively and strong. So you can see Vedana and Sanya, I said, are very important factors in creating mind. Then more and more concept starts accumulating. And this is what is happening to us every moment. More and more thoughts accumulating. These times, if the person is a female, this land, if I can have it, we can break the boundary wall and then attach this land. When our husband come, I must tell him. So, but we don't have money, we can raise some money by taking a loan. So many things come. Mine. So many, I. Keep on talking about I. And the first manyati which happens is mage, my sensation, my feeling, my I see the land. Then The mind can't proliferate. And if you keeps on mind proliferation like this, a person stands in between. That is mama, myself, mama. So the proliferation of the mind process, mind, again, one after the other, bring mama into existence. And then the next stage is another worse stage. Then you are now waiting until you are buying the land. You're just in the mind is fighting now. Mind is excited. Excited. Is not tranquil at all. And then create doubts. Whether can we get the loan? Will the bank give the loan? We have to meet the manager and discuss doubts, create doubts. You see how things are entering this when through the manjana phase. And then you get a feeling of I should exist until I buy this land. Existence. That is, you feel as a permanent existence now. Third factor, mind, myself, and my permanent existence of until they buy. These three things were not there at the initial sanyata. That was very natural. And this creates existence. This is why Buddha at Paticcasamuppada described Paticcasamuppada. Vedana, I told you, sun, and then craving, tanha, upadana, attachments, and bhava. Bhava is the permanent existence. Bhava. We say bhava, kamatanna, bhavatanna, vibhavatanna, bhavatanna, existence with craving. So in other words, impersonal external phenomenon has become personal now. And then that disturbs the mind. And she was telling that Pancha Nivarana, Kama, Chanda, Vyapada, Tila, Midda, Uddhacha, Kukkudha, Vichikicha, all are doubt, restlessness in the mind come into existence. When this stage comes for the Puthajjana, it doesn't stop at that. That female will be thinking about this all the time, throughout the day. Abhinandini. Sense of satisfaction. Whenever this thought comes on this land, now it brings a sense of satisfaction. Sense of satisfaction. Whenever the next day, if the thought comes about this land, it comes with a sense of satisfaction. Now, again, this is, how should I tell this? Now this will be a very important factor for you. The operation of Panchaskandha. It is not A becoming B, B becoming C, C becoming D, D becoming E. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara. For a scientist, A becoming B becoming C becoming D is a formula. But Buddha's Dhamma doesn't behave that. It's dependently co-origination. Buddha means a wanderer, Udayai. His name was Udayai, he's a wanderer, Brahman. Then he worshipped Buddha, and then my Lord, Tathagata, can you explain your teaching to me? He was a very wise person. The way he explains, the Panchaskandha operate with dependent co-origination. If this is. The second disease, Hetu Phala Dharma. Hetu Nisa Phalaya Krena Nisa. Phalaya Ibem Ativena. That is what the way we practice medicine is also then. If there's a disease, we'll say viral disease, we know with bacterial cough, we have to identify the bacteria, or urine infection, we have to identify, and then we treat. We don't treat the disease as such, we treat the cause, or the hetu, which causing the disease. Everywhere is the same. If disease, with the rising of this arises. With the cessation of this ceases. So, now, again, Arahatasaji is one of the five disciples, five disciples, Astakatavasana. Meet a wanderer called Upatisya, who became Arahat Sariputta Deva. Then he addressed Arahat Asaji. Your walk is very serene. You have a tranquilizing face. Who is your teacher? Then Arahat Asaji said, Tathagata is my teacher. What his teaching is all about. Ye Dhamma Hetu Bhagavan. All Dhammas rises because of Hetu. Dhammas are the things which come from the external world into your mind. They are all comes to the mind because of Hetu. Buddha has told about the Hetu, Panchaskandha. Hetu are called Sankhara. Talk about Sankhara. And the cessation of Sankhara itself. Then he suddenly got, he was stunned, and then he went to Jetavanaram and then had a discussion. So if I just let you know, Hetu Paradharma in a very simple manner. If you have the palm, Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana, palm. Okay? So the thumb can touch. Vijnana is the thumb. Thumb can touch all things. When it touch only, the hand can function. If you keep the hand like this, hand is not useful. When you do that, only hands. So Vijnana is there with all components. Otherwise, you can't function. It's the same as that. So this you need to understand separately. Then when you in meditation, these are the things you look at. We say Sankhara. Sankhara. Sabbe Sankhara Anitya. So when you see, you contemplate Anitya in Sankhara. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara. Now, once again, where have we gone wrong, Putakshan? According to this Mulapadhyasa Sutta, is that where have we gone wrong? We create ideas, thoughts, concepts about what we see, what we hear. This creation of ideas, thoughts, beliefs, what call it, doubts, and these are created with sankhara skandha. Now, if I create an idea of taking this phone or create something, sankhara skandha is the meaning of creation. So, sankhara nirodha, when you see impermanence of sankhara, which leads to sankhara nirodha, now we will understand that the thoughts, concepts, ideas, doubts will disappear in the mind. And this is exactly what we do in Vipassana meditation. It's Sankhara Nirodha. Sankhara Nirodha in Paticcasamuppada formulation makes Avidya Nirodha. Start. So you need to dissolve the sankharas through meditation, which you can do with Vipassana meditation, to dissolve avidya. Don't take my words and dissolve. Nirodha. Avidya Nirodha is Upadana Nirodha. Upadana Nirodha is realizing Dhamma. And deception would dissolve. So if you can stop, I'm just telling in a Putakjana word, if you can stop this thought which comes to the mind at the level of sanjana, without going into mind, this is exactly what happens when you do Vipassana meditation. You stop it. And then no pada, wanting, whatever I told you, lust, greed, happiness, conflicts. And this is the deception as Putakjanas. So a seeker is a person who is on the path. Now he has learned Dhamma. He is practicing Dhamma. He is already in the path. He identifies Rupa as Rupa, or sees Rupa as Rupa, or hear what sounds as sounds. Or Manyati Path, he knows that he can sometimes stop at that level, but sometimes it just goes to the Manyati level. The Sovan is a classical example. It is said that Visakha had 13 children, Sovan, and was crying, weeping at the time of her grandchild's death. Why is she crying, being Sovan? Why is she crying, being Sovan? Sovan, when you are Sovan, the last Manyati component, permanent existence. You know that you don't exist permanent, but still mind is there, mage. And that brings sadness to the mind. Sadness to the mind. So now, when the seeker is in the path, if he gets an experience, he should not convert sanjanati to manyati. Should not. That does mean that he definitely will not. Should not. But sometimes it goes in. But Arhat who's ascetical will stop the mind at the first initial phase. Stop not by deliberation. No. It's not deliberation, it's like realization. So I have given the summary, of course, a very brief account on Mulaparya Sutras on this. You can see. So now I'm sure you would understand the state of your mind, production mind. It's dangerous sometimes. No wonder people fight with each other on the road. No wonder people kill each other. You know, no wonder people are greedy to earn money, acquire the world. No wonder this is the way the world. No wonder there are conflicts in the world, conflicts among each other, individuals. Because this natural, inner experiences coming from the inner world, they do exist. It become personal in your mind, has become personal in your mind. And now you have developed craving for it. Can you believe it? When you think of it, you'll be shocked that I've been doing this all this time. Now, is there any solution? I already told you about the Vipassana meditation. Of course, that's a separate topic to discuss. And so I thought at my last, I just wrote down a few things today in the morning, just before I came. So we all like, as Buddhists, I'm sure all of us are listening to this talk, have one thing in the mind to end suffering, end this conflict, misery. We all aspire for them. If you ask anybody, yes, I want to do it. Just aspiring is not enough. To aspire is very easy. But what is important is commitment and diligence. If there is no commitment and diligence, fulfillment to aspire what you thought will never occur in your mind. Never occur in your mind. And that is the first thing you need to have. Is it urgent? Yes. Buddha, at the time of his parinirvana, utters all formation. What are these formation? I told you, doubts, sankharas, ideas, attachment, all formations are transient because it's being formed with sankhara, the factors, panchaskandha factors. They are all transient. So diligently work to realize. Diligently work is urgent. Urgent. So that urgency has to come to your mind. This is the time now. How does that urgency come? By listening to Dhamma all the time. By reading Dhamma all the time. Not only that, sometimes as individuals, you fight with your own mind because what you see in the world is always disgusting, make you to be unhappy all the time. Why am I unhappy about this incident? Or place you work is always something which you don't like to see. No, I don't take myself as examples. But in this now, I was working at a cancer hospital for 25 years. I saw a world which doesn't exist outside. And I always thought, oh my God, what is this? What is the Buddha's solution for this world? Is there any other solution? So where you work, where what you see outside, what you hear from people, it will give some feeling that you battle with these ideas. This is enough. I should go. Sometimes people go like that also. Then listening to Dharma and then improving your morality. See, is also very important. Now, you are very careful. You know karma now. You have a good understanding about karma and its operation. You know how the other animals suffer. Now you have understanding. If that happens to me, how would I feel it about this? Therefore, I should not harm anybody. I should not make conflicts among other people. I should be very careful. So you live in ethical framework now for a long time. Your ethical framework you have created. You are very generous, helping other people. You propagate friendship, maitri to the world. And you live in that ethical environment. Then if you keep on living in that ethical environment for a long time, then your mind says, now you go. Now you go. This is the time for everything. And that gives a push to you. That ethical trait gives a push to you. So this ethical framework is not Panchasila, Atasil, I told you that of course we know all about. This is something more than that. And that ethical framework Buddha created as Bodhisattva made his mind change at some stage to go, now go as Prince Siddhartha. Now live. So live. So when you are ready with that ethical framework, it's not the social ethics I'm talking about. Social ethics are being delivered by the people who are in the society. No, it's not the social ethics. It is something very deep ethics. And then that will push you forward. So so you need to do something to make this urgent. Appamadu amatapadam pamadu machuno padam pramadya maraneta hetuve. Maraneta hetu. Pramad. Maraneta hetu. So this is, and then once you decide to go, now we are in the path. So factors. And this is the path we should trod on. Go on. This is the path. Very important. And there is a path has moral sila visuddhi. Sila is a morality. Visuddhi means cleaning. Chitta visuddhi. through Sati Sampachanya, which you can do. And Ditti Visuddhi. Ditti means the dittis which I have spoken, which transform into Sanyata to Manyata. Ditti Visuddhi. And then we always say that for that kasuna, that we say, and then prevent the proliferation of your thought with unnecessary beliefs. So, I hope you understood something from this talk. So basically, now when you say, people say Dhamma in daily life, do you practice Dhamma in daily life? That's a common question everybody. Do you practice Dhamma in daily life? So it depends on what emphasis you give to that sentence. Is it Dhamma or to daily life? If you give the emphasis to daily life, then Dhamma practice, that means you want to go on with your daily life. So practice of Dhamma is just reading Dhamma, listening Dhamma, and then go to the temple and worshipping Buddha. But you give the emphasis to the other, Dhamma, not the daily life. And that is the idea. So that is why we chose, both of us, the President and me, this topic, deception behind living experience. And we'll understand how deceptive we are. We are good, I know. We all are within this ethical framework. It's good. We aspire to go and realize and to become a deathless person. When you attain nirvana, it's called the deathless. Unformed, uncreated, deathless. Unformed means Manyata is not formed. Me, mine, and myself, not formed. Uncreated means you are not creating dittis. Dittis means weaves, concepts you don't create. And then when you don't create, you don't form mine, me, and myself. Ana. And then that means nobody to die, non-self to die, nobody to die. So thank you very much. I don't know. I'm sure. So thank you very much for inviting me. I had made it very simplified for better understand. That's the most important thing. You need to understand something rather than a set of words that I told you, and then go home and then forget about it. If it has given a message to you, clear message, where do I stand in my Dhamma path? Where do I stand? Have I entered the path? Am I yet to enter the path? Am I far away into the path? So thank you so much. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Kanishka. That was very, very practical. Please to unmute and ask our president, we can hear you. And yes, come here, please. Let the Zoom on stand here. Mr. Mike.
Sorry, I'm seated.
Thank you, Dr. Karunaratna, for your exceptional, I think, speech or sermon given. I think Mulaparya Sutra is the second one, the Buddha speech after the first one, isn't it?
No, second one was Anathalakkhana.
Anathala. Something in very close to that one. And that shows the root cause, Mula is root. Actually, at the very beginning, you explained about the Sanjama, that is the friction. I would like to know, Ajanati and Vijanati, if you have any idea, please.
Pajanati, no, and Vijanati. Now, when you say Pajanati, is understanding of Dhamma. Pajanati. Understanding, we say, we take, you see a crow outside, and then now Pajanati means you see the crow, and then you see, and then you realize that you have seen the crow. You realize that you have seen the crow. And Vijanati means, Vijanati means it is much more deeper. And then you go on to realizing that, for example, the root, as you said, the causes which brought the crow into existence into the mind. The causes, conditions which brought the crow existence in the mind. So the causes are Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vinyana. Those are the factors which has been helpful to bring the crow into the mind. So seeing the crow is Pajanati, and then looking at the root cause of the origin of the fact that the crow has comes to your mind is Vijana.
Because from Katapuru Jnana and the Terra, I have listened to his sermons, and what he says is Nama Rupa comes before the Vijnana. Is it correct? Can you explain a little bit, please?
No, it doesn't happen like that. Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa is dependent on Nama to arise. Without Nama, we cannot see or hear anything from outside. Nama, Rupa, because that's Rupa. Rupa is non-existent without Nama. Without Rupa, Nama does not arise. What can, it doesn't need to arise. But Vijnana is not there. Vijnana has to be there for the Rupa to arise, for the Nama to arise. That is why we call Nama Rupa Vijnana. This complex is called Nama. Vijnana is separately. I told you now, Chakku Vijnana. The Rupa goes into the eye. Chakku Vijnana comes there. And then see the shape and the color. Identify. Vijnana has to be there with the Rupa. Then it goes to Mano Ayatana. Mano is all Nama. Mano Vijnana. So Vijnana has to be there for the Rupa as well as Nama. That is why Vijnana is separated. It does not come under Nama. It doesn't come under Nama. No. Obviously, no. You can see that it should not come under Nama. So same Vijnana, the same Vijnana act in different places. So the Rupa to arise in the eye, or Rupa to come into the contact of the eye, Chakku Vijnana. The Nama to arise in the Mano Ayatana, Mano Vijnana has to be there as another Vijnana. The same Vijnana. So it doesn't come Rupa, then Nama, then Vijnana. No, it doesn't come like that. That is why Buddha said, Pancha Skandha, aggregate. Pancha Skandha means it's an aggregate. It's a collection. So that does mean that Rupa cannot exist alone, aggregate. Nama, Vedana cannot exist alone, it has to aggregate. Sanya cannot exist alone, aggregate. Panchaskandha is aggregate. So, and this is the reason that they cannot exist. It's not like A becoming B, B becoming C, C becoming D. No, it doesn't happen like that in Dhamma. As I told you, dependent co-origination. හේතු නිසා ඵලය ඇති වෙනවා. හේතුවයි ඵලයයි දෙකම එකට ඇති වෙනවා. එතකොට හේතු නිසා ඵලය ඇති වෙනවා. රූප නිසා එළියේ ඵලය is the eye and then ඵලය is the eye. But ඒක ඇති වෙන්න රූපත් ඕනේ, ඇසත් ඕනේ, විඥානයත්. Yes, Nama has Chetana and Mansikara as well. When the mind, then when the sensation goes and you identify, Chetana means giving a significance for that rupa. Lassana rupa. Mansikara means attention. Mansikara is attention. So attention part of the mind for the experience is given by Mansikara. Now, for example, I am attentive at the corner of the land. Then my attention goes to this corner, that corner, attention. And then attention goes along with all this Chetana, significance. Now, I don't go from here to here unless there's some significance. Now, significance is, I have seen this, I want to see the other side. So that's a significance. So that significance is the Chetana. These words you have to dissolve off from the mind. You need to think your experience experientially, as an experience. When you are in Vipassana meditation, you have closed the books, textbooks. You have shut your ears, what you hear, and you don't know anything. Now we are looking at bare attention of your experience. Bare attention of your experience. Experience as a whole. Dhamma Vijaya is that. When you enhance your sati sampajanna, sati Dhamma Vijaya, then attention, then see. Experiential knowledge, experience. So if you are looking at your breath to learn Dhamma, there are sources you can learn. Breath is one source of learning Dhamma or understanding or realizing Dhamma. You can see how the breath touch, the sensation comes, can feel it. How the sensation differs as you go on. Perception you identify here, when the breath brings the sensation, you identify the breath has come here. You don't need a textbook for that. And then you see the perception changes as you go on. Vijnana changes as you go on. So just observe it. Just observe it. So you have learned Dhamma. This, it doesn't now. Even anicchata may not, the word doesn't come, this is anicchata, no? This is, no, not this is. You don't struggle with the mind. Anicchata is automatically happening in your mind during meditation. But you don't give a word for it. Because you realize anicchata, before you realize, before that, the fact that you realize anicchata will lead to another step. But anicca dukkha. And your experience becomes suddenly dukkha. Otherwise, dukkha doesn't arise if you are not realized anicca. So the fact that you feel dukkha does mean that you have already realized anicca without naming it. You can't name like that. Then you are looking for words. No, you can't look for words. You can't practice meditation with words and phrases. And then, when you realize anicca, dukkha, Buddha says, abandon it. Abandon it. Virage. Rag is sitting virage. drop it away. Then you keep dropping away. Another sensation comes, another dukkha, drop it away. Keep on renunciation. Keeps on renunciation. So Buddha has to use words. Otherwise, how can Buddha explain this process to us? He has to use word anicca, dukkha, anatta. He has to use. So Buddha didn't know these words before he sat for enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. No, he didn't know anything. He didn't have a book in his hand. It's the experience he watched, nothing else. He was watching the experience. And this, how this experience, transformation of this experience, step by step, you're watching. Now, Buddha has to convert this experiential knowledge into words. And this is how the Buddha Vachana came. These words are not the experiential knowledge. It indicates the experiential knowledge, not at the level of a meaning of the word. Impermanence is a bad word to use in English. No, it's just that. The anicca, impermanence is a very deep subject. Impermanence is not what we see. No, we see we get old with time. Get to see how impermanent time. No, it's not that Buddha wanted to. That, of course, getting old, biological aging scientists has explained that to us, how we age biologically. We don't need the Buddha to explain that to us. Even the car becoming old and then broken down, the car mechanics will explain that to us. We don't need a Buddha to do it. But anicca in Buddha, anicca in Dhamma is a mental anicca. It is not the outside anicca. It is not the objective anicca. It is a subjective anicca the Buddha wants to see. So it is different from anicca, outside anicca. That's also very important. If there's a funeral house next door, you will go, see that these things will happen. Because it gives the alarm or little sensation in the mind. But nothing else. That does not mean that you are in down. That does not mean you are in down. Okay, thank you.